Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the LA Rams and going over the 5 biggest challenges I think they will face in this upcoming season. But before getting to that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. How far do you have the LA Rams going in 2021? You got them winning the division, you got them going to the NFC Championship, you got them bringing home the Lombardi Trophy, whatever it is, comment down below. And while you're at it, if you don't mind, comment down below a video idea you'd love to see me do, and I'll see if I could get on it. But getting straight in this topic, number one, for the first challenge I think they will face this year is the loss of players on defense. This year they lost some, I don't want to say huge milestones. They didn't lose Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, but they lost a starting safety in John Johnson. They lost a starting slot corner in Troy Hill. And the biggest one to me is losing defensive coordinator Brandon Staley. Now, I do think they found a great replacement for Brandon Staley, but I'm just saying it's not going to be an immediate click. I don't know if he'll be able to live up to the hype of creating the number one defense like Brandon Staley did, especially without John Johnson, a real captain of that defense, and Troy Hill. Again, this isn't the Rams losing Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey by any means, but still losing any type of starter is not ideal. Of course, there's still talent there. Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Darius Williams, those are kind of really good Batman and Robin duos. You got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey doing the dirty work, yet there's still some guys to take the pressure off them and hold their own, and Leonard Floyd in the pass rush and Darius Williams in the secondary with Jalen Ramsey as well. So the Rams are going to be fine. I'd still be surprised if they don't have a top 5 defense, but I'm just saying losing a guy like Brandon Staley, who's clearly good enough to be a head coach in the league, losing I don't want to say a captain of the secondary in John Johnson, because I feel like you can give Jalen Ramsey the captain role. I mean, he's the best corner in the league, but you guys know what I mean. And losing Troy Hill, I feel like those two things might be enough to really just take them down from being the number one defense in the league. Again, I think they'll be fine, but I still think it'll be a challenge possibly early on, losing a couple of those players that they no longer have from 2020. Number 2 on the list is just going to be how tough the division is. The NFC West is the toughest division in football, hands down to me. You can make an argument about the AFC North, but that argument's for another video. Looking at the NFC West, you got 4 potential playoff teams in there. I mean, last time the Niners were healthy, they went to the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, as long as Russell Wilson's healthy, they're always going to be in contention and competitive team. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Gerald Everett, they got a guard to help out the protection on that line to Russell Wilson. He's still not the best in line, but it's at least a little bit better. Defense might click. Now Jamal Adams has a full year of reps with the Seahawks under his belt. Bobby Wagner, we know how good he is, getting some pass rush. Hopefully, they brought back Carlos Dunlap. Seahawks are going to be the Seahawks. They're going to be competitive. Cardinals, I don't know. They could easily be the best team in the division, or they could easily be the worst. I don't know. It's really going to depend on how those veteran players they brought in turns out. Malcolm Butler, J.J. Watt, A.J. Green. What do those guys have left? How much gas do they have left in the tank? That's really going to determine how good the Cardinals are this year. They're really unpredictable. I don't like their run game. And again, I think the Rams are possibly and arguably the best team in this division, but it is still the toughest division of football. There's no way they sweep the division, in my opinion. The division's too tough, in any division rivalry, no matter what division you're in, it's going to be tough, and it's hard to come away with sweeping the entire division. Not saying it's impossible, but being this entire division, I could see most of the losses from the Rams coming from the division. They could go 3-3 in this division, yet finish 14-3 in the NFL. That's just how tough this division is, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. Division, though, it will be, I don't want to say holding them back, but it will be some tough games that could really hold them back from being the number 1 seed in the NFC. You could see a Bucs team get a lot more wins because they're in a weaker division. Who knows? Number 3 on the list, though, is just straight up expectations. It's going to be a challenge this year. The Matthew Stafford trade, people are expecting everything now. The Rams put a lot on the line to make this trade, and I think it was the right move. You went from a bottom 10 quarterback to now a top 10 quarterback in Matt Stafford. No matter what the price was, I do think that is worth it. A switch was needed, a change was needed, a trade was needed, and a trade happened. Again, I'm for the move, but there is risk to it, and now you're expecting it to pay off. You have the roster to do it. You got your cornerstone pieces in Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, 2 top guys at their position in the league. Aaron Donald's arguably the best player in the league, let alone his position. Matthew Stafford's arguably top 10 quarterback. Rams have one of the deepest receiving corps in the NFL. The star power at the top isn't, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown level, but Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, still a very good duo, and there's depth behind them. Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson, don't know what he's got left, but he's still a wild card play that, if he's still got some speed with him, he could be due for a couple burn route touchdowns, anywhere from 2 to 5 touchdowns this year. That's just really unexpected and was earned because of his speed. Not relying on him, but still he's a part of the reason as to why this receiving core is so deep. But with this good receiving core, with an emerging backfield in Cam Akers, with the Matt Stafford trade, with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, one of the most innovative head coaches in the league, expectations are going to be there, and it's going to be a challenge to live up to them. But I do believe in this Rams team to pull it off. Moving on, number 4 on this list is the fact that they are pressed for cap space and they are pressed for draft capital. And what I mean by this is, if the Rams start playing this year and they realize, oh God, we need a left guard bad or a right guard bad or whatever it is, we need an extra linebacker, we need more pressure behind Aaron Donald, we need someone else in the secondary, whatever their need is, if they're missing one spot, if they have a hole on this team, they don't have the cap space to go out there and sign someone. They don't have the draft capital to really make a trade. Of course, they could, get into their day 2 and day 3 picks. They have 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th rounders, but they have so much first-round draft pick capital taken away from them that I don't know if they want to start dipping into their pockets of the rest of the picks and the little bit of picks they do have left to make a trade. And therefore, you're really just banking on this roster being perfect how it is, hoping there's no injuries, because you can't really afford to go out there and find a replacement, or you can't really afford to go out there and trade for a hole on this team. And while I'm saying I don't think the Rams have many holes, if any, and I think they will be fine. But I'm just saying, if an injury happens or if some hole does pop up, they don't really have many options to cover it up or fill it or replace it. They're just going to have to try and tough it out and hide it the best they can. Again, their roster is one of the best ones in the league. I don't expect many problems, but if something were to come up, the Rams don't have the money or the trade value to really make a change and try and help out this team. But again, I don't expect them to be a huge problem, but it could turn into a big challenge. And then last on the list is the offensive line. Offensive line was like top 5 last year, top 7, top 8 at worst. Depends how critical you are. It was good last year, but there are some transitions this year that could really affect it. This is number 5 on the list because I don't see it being a huge challenge, but it's enough of a challenge to at least throw in there. None of these were really in order, but I'm putting this at number 5 as the least of the challenge. Losing Austin Blythe, I think, kind of a strong center in the league. He's not Corey Linsley from the Packers to the Chargers. He's not the best center in the league, but he's still a guy that can hold his own, hence why the Chiefs O-line that was desperate went out there and signed him. And the transition of Bobby Evans kind of changing positions, and the transition of getting a new offensive line coach, things could just be changing. I could see some growing pains at least in the beginning of the year that could hurt the Rams. And I'm not saying, Matt Stafford, as good as he is through the arm, he's not the most mobile guy that's really just going to escape the pocket and get out there. And he's good in the play action, and he's got some legs, but don't expect him to be Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray in your division where it doesn't matter where his O-line is. He can make something happen. He likes to be a pocket passer, and he's going to need the protection to do so. Again, I like what they have. Andrew Whitworth is one of the better tackles in the league, even though he's up there in age. He's still a great left tackle, and the rest of the O-line is well. I just think the loss of Austin Blythe, the transition of positions, and the new hire in the offensive line coach, it could be some growing pains early on that kind of gives them a tough challenge to overcome. I think they'll get there, but I do think it could be a challenge at the beginning. But as always, guys, I do want to hear your opinions. You agree or disagree with my list of the top 5 challenges the Rams will face this year? And just to go over it again, number 1 is the loss of players on defense: John Johnson, Troy Hill, Brandon Staley. Number 2, the division they're in. Number 3, just the expectations they have to live up to. Number 4, the low amount of draft capital and cap space they have. And then number 5, the situation at O-line. Do you agree or disagree? And of course, referring back to the question today, how far you think the Rams will go this year. To me, I got NFC Championship booked for the Rams, an appearance at the minimum. I'm not going to predict if they win yet because I got to at least see one game of this offense, but an appearance I will give them for now. As always, and of course, guys, thank you for watching. 2-minute warning.